Right then guys, so now I've just noticed, went upstairs earlier and I noticed that I'm running a little bit low on actual bloody pineapple as a feed, as a pop-up. So the next step is to get some of these rolled. Now we're going to go with, we don't want much bloodworm in it, but we do want it to leak off a little bit, so we're going to go with 5mm on bloodworm, and then I'm going to go with put that in actually. I'm going to go with 5mm, which I'm going to bung that in a little bit. Bung that in. Last bit, probably about 7mm that. Get rid of that because it's very, very hard to get out, is the bloodworm. Now, with this, what I do with this is, I always add just a touch of water to it. You want every bit of that out with every bit, like, not cheap, so every bit out. 7.5 of that, yep. So what we do then is the same. Now we go halves with the sweetened. So, but what we'll do is around 7.5. We'll go about 3mm with the sweetened. I don't think you can really overdo it with sweetened. I will be honest with you. It's you could slowly roll a bit out of sweetened. To be honest with you, can't love things sweet. Now I do this by a couple of drops, and then again just a touch of oil. I don't bother with hemp oil, it's expensive and I don't bother with it. I do use it in my spod mixers though sometimes. So in there now I've got bloodworm and pineapple. And now what we do is perfect, absolutely perfect. So what we want now to this is if we can, we'll see what happens actually if we add a little bit of yellow to that, but I'm not sure what's gonna happen here with this. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this by adding this yellow, because it's pretty hard to keep that red colour out of it, but I'll add a fair bit to it. I think if anything it'll probably just end a bit orange, which I'm not bothered about. I will be honest with you, I'm not that bothered about if it does. But I would much rather have had these, yeah, it has, it sent it like an orangey colour, but I'm quite happy with that. In fact, they may even go yellow them actually. Now they're gonna leak off plenty of fish. So that's all the flavours and everything is done me now. So now what we do then is we just go in now with the pop-up mix. Slowly. I'll just pause you for a sec guys. Right, and so I'm back. I'm just getting the rolling table on that. So it's just a case now, I just keep adding. And they've gone a kind of orangey colour, which I'm not bothered about. It's a fluoro orange. So I'm not that bothered about it. It's it'll do. These are mainly gonna get cast to showing fish. Right, an additive that I'm really liking at the minute as well. It's just a little touch of peach schnapps. Now that adds that little bit of peachy flavour to it, but it also does something else, and that is it gives the bait that lovely, nice, really nice tasting. It's almost a little bit like when I used to do years ago what we used to call it, I think we call it chocolate orange or something like that. We did it years ago. Really nice bit. So now all we're doing now is we're just kneading that in. That's the majority of that mixed in. Again. Right, I just want to rinse my hands off that. Got alcohol on it today, so rinse them off. Turn that up to tap. Not far off. And then slowly now just pull it together. It's still wet. And it's definitely 100% going to be a tub of these spare. Probably maybe a couple of tubs spare to this. They really are a nice bait, these ones. So what we do now is we take it off the fork and we go in with the hands. And just keep moving it round and round. So we pick every single bit up out of the bowl. You'll know it's ready when it's picking it up out of the bowl. Now that's still way too wet. Lovely mix. I want some of now these are all going to be 16s, and you see now we're there with that, right? Pretty much there. It's pulling everything out of the bowl, and it's good as a lovely paste. So these are deadly at Langworth, these ones, so we'll go with that. What we do then is clean his hands off. So obviously you need clean hands to judge ours pasted. I've said it before hundreds of times on these blogs I've done, so it shouldn't be a new thing. That's it. It's your hands are the things that's telling you whether how we do with that. If we just mix that last little bit into that now. Quite a bit of paste here, but none of it goes to waste. If anything, if I get too many out of it, then I will save. In fact, I'll just roll them all because they'll get used at some point. Found it were great for floater fishing with this colour, to be perfectly honest. Really worked well. That over the end. Right, now that will be soaking now. The moisture's in again over your work area, keeping that nice and clean. Like all your work stuff in that corner. And then now what we want now is we'll actually do them on this. We're going to do them on this. So what we want now is sausages. Lovely paste. Really do like these, nice florals, does look well. if I can, I like to get all them sausages put out at once. It gives the dry powders time to soak in that egg while they're actually on this. Now we're at the end there. So what we've got now is we've got a row of sausages there. So we come back with that, and then it's just a case then we're just rolling gently firstly, like that, nice and gently to start with. Gives you perfect perfect 16mm pop-ups. Lovely colour as well. It's a colour that I've really not done much with until late on last year, and then I noticed that it did really well. So it's I expect them to come out a little bit more yellowy than that, but I'm happy that they've come out that colour. It's a nice colour. So again, we take the ones that aren't perfectly round, we take them off. And then we'll roll half these, and then we'll roll the other half in a bit. And down, back and forth. Off we come. Perfect. So you could really say that these are bloody pineapple and peach schnapps, to be perfectly honest with you, but I really don't like peach schnapps lately. It's been really nice additive. I have used it before, but not until really last year. No, it's lovely. Come out beautiful, all of them have. So we carry on rolling. Keep plodding along with them. All perfect. We'll do a couple more, and then we'll boil them, and then we'll boil over actually 2 more, and then we'll boil them. Takes a little bit of practice to get them perfectly round. Don't expect to start rolling straight away and be getting perfectly round bears, because it just doesn't happen. Doesn't happen at all. Now these have got no coat dusting, for the simple reason of they don't need it. It's Polaris pop-up mix, and it is really, really buoyant, so they don't need it. Pointless. So what we'll do now is we'll turn that gas up a little bit, and we'll get this first batch. What I'll do with this now is I'll put the bowl down, and then I get a couple of pieces of kitchen roll, and that goes into the bottom. Now, as before, we give them a roll. We only really want a few, perhaps a tub at a time. You really want to be boiling them out. So we go in with them, and then 2 minutes we do it for. So I'll pause you a sec. Right then, so that's 2 minutes, guys. So now we just whip them out, getting that pop-up mix off it. Come out lovely. Now they always look a little bit bigger than they will actually dry to, but I'm happy with them. 16mm, really nice bears, and they're not as floral as I thought, so that's a good thing. So we just continue. Now I continue during the bit of time that I pause that for a few seconds then. So actually we'll pull that a little bit further, and we'll take a bit more off. That's better. Right, so now we just carry on with that, and then we get these off. Now that one is alright, but it's not perfect. Now they have come out a nice yellow. They looked orange, but they've come out a nice yellow actually. A Floro could you have like this orangey yellow colour? But I'm happy with colour then. Really nice bits. Right, so we get rid of that one because it's not quite right. That one's not quite right. So we'll bang that on. And then we'll go with that. Getting that bit with just drop there. Get that on your socks. It's a nightmare pulling it through our whole house. So we'll get rid of them last ones. There's one more sausage to do. And obviously there'll be a bit in gum. So got one more sausage. I'll pull that, stretch it out right a little bit. And then back and forth. And let's get this beautiful base again. By pulling sausage out a little bit like I've just done, it's it kind of gives you a slightly smaller base. Say a 14. Again, 2 minutes. So I'll pause you a sec. That's good as a few tubs of a nice base. There's a few in here that I'm not happy with though, I will be honest with you. Give us a few nice bits. We've got some nice bloody pineapple pop-ups there, some nice ones there, and then we've got the liver, shrimp and crayfish. They're still dry. They're just on the third glug, so it's the final glug. Once they're dried, they're done. And then we've got these kind of really vibrant yellow, which I wanted, pop-ups that are bloody pineapple from last year. I did really well on bloody pineapple last year, so they'll be getting used again this year. So that's about it, guys. Check you later.